break all of those offices and there's like zoning requirements for commercial, residential. Replace that with residential zoning and actually build like apartments and houses and stuff like that, which I think is insane because basically the title of this article and this news is New York just accepts defeat to remote work.
Saj and I are talking and James comes by and he had a long day at work. He worked like a 13-hour day. He comes in
14 hours.
14-hour day. And he comes in with a shirt on. I just did a 4-mile run. And he was on his bully. And it was just like good to see. And
this was our producer James yesterday, right?
That's just what it be like, man. That's just what it be like. So it's really good. It's been a lot of fun thus far.
Your brand is whatever you create it. Really ain't no limit. You just gotta love it. Working day and night, it's all about the venture hustle. Hey, venture hustles. Time to take it to the next level. Let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Venture Hustles Podcast. I'm your co-host Saj, and I've got my other co-host Jack with me. Welcome, everyone.
How we doing?
We're doing fantastic, and this week we're gonna talk about some interesting things that are happening in the news.
Yeah, we're gonna bring back the current events. We thought it was a good idea. We haven't done one in a while.
We have not. We're gonna talk, just to kind of give you a preview. We're gonna talk about what's happening with the remote world of operations and what's happening in with all these office spaces, and we're gonna talk about 75 Hard and some health, fitness, mind, body, soul conversations about what we've been up to. And we're also going to be talking about the Mexico aliens, my favorite thing to talk about. So I can't believe we're going to finally talk about it. And a little bit of Elon Musk action and a little bit of social media action between Dylan, Danis, and Logan Paul. So, if you're one of those people that are a little bit tired of us always talking about self-help stuff, which you shouldn't be, by the way, tune in next week for another dose of that. Then this might be a little bit
more
spilled.
Yeah,
So we'll change up the pace a little bit. But before you leave, before you get dropped off here, hit the like button, subscribe, follow us if you're new. And if you're subscribed, if you're watching this on YouTube, hit the follow button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. If you're listening to us on any of the audio platforms for Spotify, Apple Podcast, Stitcher, whatever it is, follow us, leave a comment, and join the journey. So
let's jump in here.
Let's jump in, man. There's a lot to talk about. There's a lot been happening in the news world. We were being a little bit selective on the things that we want to talk about that are entertaining and fascinating to us, but also important news.
Yeah.
So one of the biggest things that I've seen that I've caught in the news recently is the mayor of New York went on and talked about how all these empty office spaces in Manhattan are just sitting idle. It's completely empty and collecting dust. Pretty much. Then there's a need for residential more. So what they're doing is they just approved a plan to break all of those like office spaces.
When was that approved? Recently?
Just recently, I think.
Okay.
Like break all of those offices and there's like zoning requirements for, commercial, residential. Replace that with residential zoning and actually build like apartments and houses and stuff like that, which I think is insane because basically the title of this article and this news is New York just accepts defeat to remote work.
Certainly seems that way. But then again, you have companies like Amazon going on a hiring spree right now. Legitimately,
this isn't a layoff hiring concern.
Well, I'm just saying from the standpoint of like remote work and then not remote work. I mean, I've seen also different things. Not only Elon but other companies saying, "Hey, if you don't come into the office,"
it's a culture thing. But in what's insane,
it's crazy.
Like
that's how dramatic the effect has been, though.
It's
for
New
Manhattan,
York.
For New York,
if this was like Texas, Ohio, whatever, right? I would understand that this is the hub of so many different industries and spaces, and between everything that's happening and moving and shifting in New York and Manhattan, I would think this might be the last place on planet Earth to be affected by this. And again, this is not by no means I think is a reflection of the state of the economy. This is more so what the post COVID
Era
world looks like now. It's apocalyptic, essentially, literally apocalyptic. You walk into those offices, it's empty.
Yeah, no, it's crazy.
There's nobody there, maybe other than just the maintenance and the cleaners, and maybe some higher level staff. Like,
imagine being the janitor or the cleaning staff that literally has to clean the space every day that no one shows up to.
He loves that job. You know why? Because there's barely anything to clean.
He goes once a week.
It's not even that. He's got barely anything to clean. The bathrooms are squeaky clean because it's just probably him using it. That's it.
So he just cleans one toilet.
Yeah. I mean, think about it. I think and they get paid. And they're getting paid for it. So
clocking in every day, cleaning once.
I think it's just, when I read that, it just stood out to me, man. And I was just like, wow.
Do you know where?
Just all over Manhattan.
Okay.
And to us, it doesn't seem like that because we're not actually in Manhattan. We're in New York, but
yeah.
But the reality is, I think it's a big reflection of the remote work culture. My dad, for example, my dad works for the city. Mm-hmm. The New York, I forget what it is. The governor, I don't know, but they just approved a bid for his agency, his department.
Okay.
To now work 3 or 2 days from home.
Wow.
Remote for the next 2 years. And then in the next 2 years, that's the contract. Then after that, they're going to reevaluate whether they're going to
go up or go down.
They're going to keep it or they're going to go back to normal. So and by the way, his office is in Long Island City, and is
he happy?
He loves it.
That's
but my dad is also like an active social person, so he doesn't mind going in. But I mean, considering his age and considering where he's at, he enjoys it. It's great to have that flexibility. So that's pretty awesome to
I wonder how this will kind of affect everything, because obviously now you have people living there and people going there for work is two different things. So
I mean, we've considered a lot of that, and we've transitioned a lot of the remote stuff as well on our side. But there's just some things that you can't do remote. There's some things that you can. But situations like COVID compels you to think about that.
It
think about
did
options.
For us.
Yeah,
absolutely, tenfold.
Yeah.
Okay, well, the world awaits, so we will see, I suppose.
We'll see.
Moving on here to our next topic of discussion, 75 hard. For those of you who've been with us, towards the beginning of the season here, you would have known that we completed 75 hard this year. And for those of you that may not know what 75 hard is, a 30,000-foot view summary. It's a mental fortitude and fitness challenge.
Yep.
Where for 75 days straight, you have to work out twice a day, one of which must be outside. Mm-hmm. You have to drink a gallon of water. You have to read 10 pages of a book at least. You have to select a diet that's unique to you. No alcohol. And last but not least, you must take a picture of yourself and your progress every single day. If you miss one item on one day, you fail and must go back to zero. So with that being said, Saj and I are running it back. And now we have some friends with us and a group
just
with
to
us.
Give it some more context. We did this from February 13th, and I forget what the end date was, but sometime in May?
February, March, April? Somewhere around
April.
May.
So April is when we probably ended, and I think
between April and May, I think. Yeah.
And after that, both me and Jack did phase 1, and then Jack's also doing phase 2. I finished phase 2, which is another 30-day cycle. But the whole point of this is that we're very much involved and married in this process. It changed a lot for us. And when we were posting on social media and sharing this publicly with our friends and everybody else that we know, a lot of people expressed interest and they wanted to join up. So we were like, if we do this, we run this back, we're gonna make
open it up to anyone else that wants to share the experience. And
so we've got a pretty solid group going on. Yeah, we have about 20 people that are all, most of them are like focused. They're kind of like locked in the
pretty
mission.
Committed.
We're always talking and chatting about this. We're basically one massive accountability group.
Yeah.
So I want to give a quick shout out to everybody. I want to give a shout out to our producer James. He's behind the scenes here. He's one of the members of 75 Deep. That's the name of the club because inspired by 75 Hard. Andy Frizella. I also want to give a shout out to pretty much everybody. Nabil,
who's
John,
on here. So if you're familiar with us from season 1.
He was a guest here. We've got Nabil, we've got John, we've got MJ, We've got
Jimmy.
Yusuf, Furkan, Jimmy, Mitch. Anybody else that you think I'm missing? Just a couple people at the top of my head. We've got about 20 people, but shout out to everyone. We did. So Catherine as well. We've got Sarah, my wife Sarah. Then my sister's doing a version of it. Just a couple of people that
committed, that wanted to commit, and it's funny. I just got a
we
message.
just got a message from our group. Yeah,
from 75 Deep here. Let's see what
funny.
it says. Okay, so it's Mr. John here sending a picture of his outdoor run. So keep in mind here, right? We're in New York right now. It is it's a tropical storm outside. There's winds and there's rain. For those of you watching us right now, I want you to know that after this episode, Saj, James, and myself will be outdoors running in a legitimate storm.
Right now, I mean, I don't know if you could see Jack's angle behind him. It is absolutely horrendous outside. It's like 50 degrees. It's cold and it's windy. But John, I just want to shout out my boy John. He just posted this image. James, I don't know if you can get that in the frame of just me. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Is that? I mean, David could zoom in.
It's
just
grass.
It's just
rubbish.
But he said, I don't know. There's just something therapeutic about the shitty weather. Well,
it looks like a flooded road with
trees.
Like a couple trees that fell.
He's got nice like scenic like routes and stuff, so that's probably what it is.
Good for him.
But I just want to say that this is what it does to you folks. It brings something out of you. It makes you like more savage than you thought that you were capable of. And
plus
it's like
the group is just so great too.
Dedicated,
because you all just feed off each other. We're all always sending, whether it's inspiring, corny stuff.
Yep.
Some, but not really. But a lot of just like, hey, just did this. Hey, just did that. Like yesterday.
Yeah.
Saj and I are talking, and James comes by. And he had a long day at work. He worked like a 12, 13-hour day. He comes in.
14 hours.
14-hour day. And he comes in with his shirt off. I just did a 4-mile run. And he was on his bully. And it was just like good to see. And
this was our producer James yesterday, right?
That's just what it be like, man. That's just what it be like. So it's really good. It's been a lot of fun thus far. So
I just had to take that recording to post in our 75 Deep group to say that we're talking about him today in this episode. That's pretty cool.
There's a lot of, and what's cool too is, obviously everyone's very committed, but we also have people from all different walks of life, between friends, family, shout out, my boy Jay Millie. He's doing a great job.
Yeah.
So
he one of his biggest disclaimers were, I'm like, I've been drinking alcohol for the last 10 years and this is going to be my biggest struggle. So this is the first time someone has said that was their struggle. Like a lot of people say the gallon is going to be a struggle. John is now realizing that, the ability to have to work around the schedule and the timing. He was texting me.
Planning,
he was like the time. I was like, yeah, bro, that's facts.
It's a big deal.
But earlier he was worrying about the gallon of water, and now he's like, yo, that's light.
Now, something important to note.
Quickly, I also want to say, Jay Millie, let's go. You got this. He is at an engagement party right now, the test is real. So let's go.
It's tough, man. It's tough.
All of these things have happened.
Yeah, James. And my girl's at like the wedding, like the religious ceremony today. And yesterday she was also at a wedding party, and she sent me a picture of like the desserts. And she's like, "This is a true test." And like her friends were checking in on her. They were like, "Are you drinking the water? What's going on? Like, are you good? And are you making a dent?" She took her gallon jug to this event.
Oh my God, did she really?
Savage.
Yeah, she did. Yeah, man. That's the commitment.
Dedication.
It just makes you different.
Say all these different things. We're on day 4. There's 71 more days.
71 more days, and that's the thing, man. Day 30, day 40, day 50. You go through these different waves and emotions. You're gonna feel tired. You're gonna feel burnt. You're gonna feel like
4% in, dude.
I know.
Less than 4%.
Yeah.
Well, no, a little bit more, let's say. But
let's hear from while on the topic, since James is me and you have done it before, right? We've done more.
And
it's
still hard, honestly.
It's not easy. I know. I thought it would be easy. I know what to expect. But anyway, without getting sidetracked here, me and Jack have done it before. James, you're a newcomer in this space, but you're honestly, from a third-party viewer, you are running it like a champ. You're taking it very serious.
So
you're doing
far,
everything.
So good.
So what are your thoughts? How do you feel, man? Tell us.
First off, thank you. Thank you for that huge compliment. I appreciate it. I know it's only 4 days. May catch some slack for this one, but I honestly never felt better in my life.
Oh, yeah.
I've never felt better. I feel healthy.
Oh, yeah.
I feel on point. I feel like I have so many people that, if I don't do something, they'll hold me accountable, and vice versa. I've had troubles with some disciplining myself in the past, and just not doing things that I know I probably should have done. And this has been a real eye opener.
Love that.
I love it.
That's awesome.
Have
you done anything?
And also, I want to shout out Mitch, and he said this yesterday. What did he say? He said something like, "There will never be the right time. The right time is always now." So shout out.
I love that.
Let's go.
I love that.
You want to know something crazy? Nabil came to my house last night. Nabil's also someone, he is going through some of the craziest things right now between his family, and he's got a baby on the way. And he's been a little quiet in the group, right? But he's been getting his workouts in. And he was like, man, my wife told me, why am I not... and again, Nabil, I'm not trying to air your stuff out. I just want to be honest and vulnerable here, right? Without, because I think this shows a lot about the commitment. His wife, everybody was like, this is not a good time. You shouldn't be doing this. Why are you doing this? You've got a baby on the way literally any day now, right? And he's dealing with so much, and he runs a very successful business. But the reality is, I think he was like, and then I realized he was telling me, he's like, I realized that there's never going to be a good time. Like, there's always going to be something. Like, if I fail, I fail. But like, that realization is what gets you going, man.
It really is. And then there's pushing through. And then obviously on a micro level, the sense of achievement every single day is at an all-time high. Not only are you doing what you normally do, but now it's like 8 things that are just like tough.
Dude, the micro achievement for you when you hit the 4 miles yesterday and you posted your status update. I heard you on the call. Me and Jack were gaming last night. I knew what it was about because I just got his alert. I felt the same thing earlier in the morning. I had like a 7 a.m. bike session. I started my day strong and I hit my PR. Almost did 11 miles. Never done that before.
Sick.
And I was just like, man, you're on such a high, bro. Just like that. It's just that, it's a little bit of like a glitch.
Dopamine. There's a little dopamine to the...
Yeah, I've never ran more than 2 miles. And then yesterday I actually set my 2 mile PR.
Love that.
And I was like, you know what? Let me see how long it would take me to run 2.5. I got to 2.5. I was like, you know what? Let me see how long it would take me to get to 3. When I checked to see if I was at 3 miles, I was at like 3.25. Told myself I have to get to 3.5, and then I said, you know what? I'm going to 4.
You know what's crazy, man? It's not.
I woke up sore today, and you know what? It's all good.
It's like this stuff
good.
Pushes you, man.
It's great.
It's super
Please
inspiring.
try if you're listening, please, or maybe you can run it back with us when we do it a third time.
I mean, I think we're gonna evolve this into other stuff that we're gonna push and challenge as like individuals and groups, because like this, if majority of us make it to 75 days, there's something here, you know. And I think
talk to them.
That's the entire purpose. But let's talk about the Mexico aliens. I think we've been on this a little bit.
Okay, all right. So we're hard pivot to fitness, health, wellness.
We're getting a little tight on time here, but the reality is we actually have an alienologist, extraterrestrial expert coming into our studio to film with us soon.
It's gonna be wild.
It's gonna be pretty insane. So we're gonna keep a lot of the meat for that, but just to address just thoughts.
Very as a quick disclaimer here, my co-host, Mr. Saj, is one of the he's like your alien fanatic.
Oh,
like that's God. Him. That's him. So like he's almost jumping out of his chair right now. So go ahead, continue.
I cannot wait for this episode. I really hope that this guest that's coming on it doesn't disappoint. I'm being dead honest because I've got real high expectations. I'm gonna hit him like he is sitting at an electric chair being interviewed.
Okay,
this is gonna be the this is gonna be the 60 minutes time. An interview piece for a ufologist. But here's the thing. The Mexico aliens that were displayed in Congress by this scientist, a lot of people debunked him. And again, as of what I know, from last week. And look this up if you don't know what's going on. Mexico Congress. This scientist came on, a little controversial figure, brought in 2 boxes
with alien bodies.
With alien mummified, or not mummified, just corpses that were kind of like
preserved or something.
Apparently they were like 1,200 years old. All the little TikTokers made these like memes and videos saying, oh, look at these x-rays, look at these CT scans of these bodies, and this is a tibia, this is a fibula, whatever it is, and just debunking that this is fake. Last week, this current week, other scientists took those bodies in Mexico, ran latest CT scans and x-rays, and said they're all one skeleton.
Sus.
Yeah, man. So now we don't know if this is all big one scheme, if this is a big April's Fools in September, but the reality is, this is what we're going to talk about this in this episode, is in September, there's been about 18 major UFO related things in public news and media.
In September?
In just the month of September. Just the month of September.
Just this month.
In just this September. And I'm going to go over some of those things. Major things. Both in New York.
I
am so invested in this.
You're neck deep, bro.
Listen,
you
man,
are neck deep.
I'm a man of science, but I'm also a realist. I'm also not it's mathematically it's impossible that we're alone. That's what Stephen Hawking said.
I can agree with that. Absolutely.
But I mean, what are your thoughts on it? You liking these? You thought those aliens were cute?
What?
They're cute little figures. What would you think?
I mean, I'm very excited and interested to kind of see where it goes. I mean, I agree that it's not possible for us to be the only ones. Yeah. But also, it's so easy to fake stuff nowadays. So I'm very careful about what I get committed to, but definitely looking forward to speaking, with the guest, because this is his realm and his world. So whatever he says, I'm kind of going to take, as this is factual.
Hey man, he's flying out from Chicago to here, so he's committed to the alien cause.
I love it. So I absolutely love it.
We're ready to rock and roll here.
We are. I think outside of that, we got Elon Musk, thinking about paywalling Twitter, which I think personally could be a very, very big deal. I mean, they have over 500 million users, something like that. Yeah. So I mean, will there be a drop off if he does a paywall?
Yes.
Will you continue to use Twitter if there is a fee?
No.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. There's no shot.
No.
I
don't. I think I can't imagine that there'd be an actual big paywall. I think there would be kind of like a pay to use model where you can only tweet an X amount of times in a month before you have to pay. But Twitter has always been a very shady platform until he proves more legitimacy on it and just fixes a lot of its underlying problems, which I think he has been.
He's done a pretty good job so far.
But the reality is not a platform I'd pay for. Now, if we're talking about something like Instagram or something else that's a little bit more up my speed, yeah, maybe. But LinkedIn I'd pay for. Just because.
I mean, you can pay for it now.
I think that if you're not verified on Twitter, that if you don't have the blue check, you have a tweet limit on how many times you can tweet a day. You have a limit on.
Is that already in place?
Yeah, you have a DM limit, and I think you have a view limit on your tweets too. So
I know, and then he also I think shortened the character count, something like that too. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So we'll see. We'll see what happens, man. One of the last things that we want to discuss very briefly.
Yep.
Some pop culture.
Logan Paul, Dylan Danis. First off, who do you think wins?
Who do I think wins? I mean, I don't know. From a skill standpoint, an actual skill standpoint, Dylan should win. I think from a pure skill standpoint.
You want to take that? You want to take that over under?
But
there's no chance.
Why?
I think Logan Paul knocks him out.
I think Logan Paul is a better athlete.
He's a better athlete. He's had more experience as a quote unquote boxer in this capacity.
What 4 times?
That's not the point. He's been under that limelight where millions of people are watching him, and that's the X factor when it comes to actual boxing on the stage. Is when people rise or shine. That for him is going to be the biggest.
So it's not
advantage.
The skill; it's just the scenario.
I also don't think he's a crappy fighter. I just don't think he's ever been
fought
tested
3 or 4 times, bro.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I don't think he's ever been tested.
1 or 2 of them.
He's an incredible.
Every time.
He's an incredible.
He's lost every time.
He's in incredible shape, dude.
Okay, and
I think he's gonna win.
By what? How? What's their prediction?
TKO.
TKO what round? It's 8-round fight, I think.
3. What's your prediction? Dylan Danis wins.
I don't really
By
know.
what, tweeting a picture?
One picture? Well, do you know so now Logan's girl is like suing the crap out of
so
Dylan now. He
stupid.
goes, bro, like
What do you think about that, by the way? You think so? Dylan
I think
Danis.
it's honest. I think personally he definitely went too far. Like I get it. Like he had a streak going. Like it's cool. Like it was funny. But like at this point, like it's insane how many pictures are now on his Twitter profile.
He's
every
good at
day. He's insane at it.
He's really good
He's
at
insane at it, bro.
It's just, but he's just not a likable guy. Like no matter how much I watch him, like wherever on the news clips, whatever, he just looks like a slimy sleazebag.
I don't think so. I think he just looks like a gym rat fighter. That's what
He
I think.
looks like a sleazy dude. You like him?
No. I feel indifferent about him. I don't like him or hate him.
He's just not
But-
likable. Neither is Logan Paul.
I was gonna say,
but
I mean,
I'm
if
just
that's
saying.
the argument, then no shot. But we'll see, because Logan obviously hates the guy's guts now for making fun of his fiance. Like, it is a little sus though with the fiance. Let's not, about how many
If you were in that situation, what would you do?
engagements she's been in.
If
Like,
you were
that's
Logan
insane.
Paul, what would you do?
In regards to my relationship, I'd be shocked if he wasn't aware of this. If he wasn't aware of that before,
I'm saying consider him right now.
Yeah.
And everything like this is happening and he's getting rolled out and just publicly.
assuming that I knew already, like this is just collateral. Like
So you're
I
just
feel
gonna
bad
deal-
for her.
You're just going to deal with this. And
You
just-
have to. But again, assuming that I was already privy. Like if I'm Logan and I'm finding this information out, how my now fiance has literally been with every man in Hollywood, I don't know. I'd be feeling some type of way for sure.
You don't know? What are we talking
You'd be
about?
feeling some type of way for sure. I mean, am I cutting off? The good shot that I am. Keep in mind, he's
Soft.
He's proposed. He's a fiance.
James, what would you do?
What do you mean? But then again, I would find it
It's a
hard.
clear answer.
Hold on. I'd find it
No
hard to
shot.
believe.
It's
I
a tough situation. I agree with Jack. I mean, if he had to have known, right?
If he
Yes.
knows, I
has to.
agree.
If
but I'm
he,
saying
has
he
to.
doesn't
if he
know.
didn't know, it's off for sure.
yeah,
Okay,
if
that's
he,
what I'm
if he
asking.
doesn't know,
Yeah.
it's off. I agree with that. I
Yeah.
mean,
if you know, you don't abandon. If you know,
Right.
and you abandoning her is you being a really bad person and just
Yeah.
like disloyal.
But
Yeah,
now,
yeah.
if I didn't know, and she was
There's
kind
no
of
way
like
he doesn't
concealing,
know,
that's what I'm
though.
saying.
There's no way he doesn't
there's
know.
no way. There's
But
no
now,
way.
did he
my
know
point.
to this extent? Did he know that it was literally?
I see.
like,
I don't know if it was
legit
to that extent.
every man
and like,
in Hollywood.
I
There's some
promise
videos-
you, if you have a history like that, and especially in the LA
In that
scene,
world, yeah.
in that world, you are not gonna talk to somebody saying, "Oh, here's a disclosure. I've been with 70 different people."
70.
But listen,
more
no
than that.
one is ever going to come out and say that. You got to understand
Yeah,
that
but
in
how do
any
you-
context.
He's from that.
there's
he's
so
from
many
that
videos that I've seen of
scene.
Logan, and he just looks defeated.
He does.
Like
look
he looks
defeated.
so defeated.
He does look defeated.
Like I don't mean to clown on him, but he looks so defeated.
I mean,
Like,
hey,
Whether he knows or not, it's getting to
he
him.
has to know. There's no way he doesn't know. It's not like he just entered that scene. He's
Yeah.
been in that scene for his whole life.
I think
pretty
it's a
much.
little karma. Like I don't feel bad for him.
No, I don't either.
Yeah.
I saw a video too where he said like he wanted to like marry her for years. Like he always had a crush on her. So I could
Okay.
also see it
Okay.
like he
What?
Who, Dylan Dennis?
no
Oh,
no
Logan?
no
Okay.
Logan, yeah, like he
That's a little insane.
First off, he hasn't even probably been with her for that many years. It's
Has
probably
it
been
even
like
been a
2
year?
years,
Well,
maybe.
yeah. I mean, I don't know if maybe he just said, you know what, I don't really care what happened.
Just deal
I
with it.
just want
But bro,
you. Like, I don't know.
Last
Still
week,
a lot for
or
me.
like 2 weeks ago, like if you were to go on Twitter, like you could just scroll.
I know.
And picture.
I know.
Picture.
It's
It's-
rough, man.
it's
It's
wild,
bad
bro.
for that girl. I feel bad because
But
even
Dylan
if she had
promoted-
that background, she doesn't deserve
I
it.
mean, if she does, she does.
A lot of them were photoshopped.
There is 80% of them that are real. Like obviously, there's clear ones that are photoshopped, and everyone knows that. But dude, a lot of them like are pretty real, bro.
I would, if I were Logan, he needs to stop lying to himself. And say
Yes.
that and pretend like he knew and just call it.
Yes.
Because you're gonna live with this.
Yes.
Yeah. You know.
It's it's whatever. So we'll see who wins. They fight in a couple weeks, I think. I don't remember.
Sometime in October, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But
keep an eye out.
as we start to wrap up here, I hope you guys enjoyed the different kind of taste of the current events. Definitely a little bit more loose and kind of controversial or just more conversational, I suppose. But as always, we appreciate everyone tuning in. Like, comment, subscribe on YouTube, at Spotify, Apple Podcasts. We're everywhere. And we'll see you next time.
Yeah, venture hustles, life is really what you make it. Building up your brand is whatever you create it. Really ain't no limit. You just gotta love it. Working day and night, it's all about the venture hustle. Hey, venture hustles. Time to take it to the next level. Let's go.